In an industry that is constantly evolving to catch the internet wave, DailyMe.com is helping the newsreader have a more personal experience. Joining us now is the CEO of DailyMe.com, Eduardo Hauser. Eduardo, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks for having me.
Thanks so much for joining us. So let's just start by talking a little bit about the history of DailyMe.com. When was it founded and kind of how did it actually come to be?
Sure. It was 2005 and I just left my job at AOL and I was trying to find a way to combine my two passions and one goal. My two passions were news. I had been a news director in the past and I had worked in technology for several years. And my goal was simply to find a better way to stay informed.
And what is this better way to stay informed then? What does DailyMe.com do for readers out there?
I'm an avid news consumer, and what I was finding every day, I read 3 newspapers, look at 2 news shows, is that it was taking a lot of effort on my part to find the information that I needed, that I wanted to stay ahead. So what I really set out to do is to find if there's a way that technology can help people spend less time looking at things they really don't have an interest in and became more specialized in things that truly help them, that truly matter to them.
So basically trying to bring the news that the reader wants to read right to the reader rather than the reader having to go out there and find it themselves.
Right. If you think about it, the news experience by definition is one of exploration. But the problem is that people need to exploit as well the news. And what appears to be happening today is that you have to choose between one or the other. We're trying to step in a way that will still preserve the exploratory nature of news, but giving you means to exploit those news and really become expert and specialized in the things that you care about.
So then, Eduardo, let's kind of talk a little bit about exactly how this site works. How does DailyMe.com actually bring news directly to the reader and make that news exactly what the reader's looking for?
That's a very good question. There's 2 sides to what we do. One side, Matt, involves our getting to know articles at a very granular level. We take in from various sources throughout the world about 10,000 stories every day from about 500 newspaper partners, and we dissect those stories down to a character level. By doing so, we get a level of knowledge about each story that is written that very few people have. On the other side, what we try to do is get to know our readers, our users, with every means we can. Some of them will volunteer information about what they want by filling out a questionnaire. But the majority of people don't want to fill out a questionnaire. So DailyMe has created unique proprietary technology that will discover what a user does by engaging online. It's a system that we call a newstogram. It gives us really an X-ray, without any personal information, of course, about what each individual tracks and matters to them. And that what we do is we create think about it like shortcuts, ways for people to access that information more rapidly.
So basically you guys are monitoring readers, and if a reader, for example, is frequently clicking on stories about business in Boston or the weather in Los Angeles or a minor league baseball team in Des Moines, you guys are keeping an eye on that, and then in the future when that reader logs into the site, you're trying to bring that news to them.
That's exactly right. And if you think about it, the readers' profiles are very fluid. I mean, our interests change every day. I look on Monday very different from the way I look on Friday. Friday might be my sports day, or actually Monday might be my sports day when Friday is the end of my week. So the problem with simply profiles is that profiles don't evolve as rapidly as our interests evolve. That's where the discovery technology comes in. We get to know you in a very fluid and a daily basis, and the technology in the background takes care of bringing to each reader's attention on an individual level what we believe is most important for you.
And now you guys are getting this information, you said, from newspapers nationwide. Are we talking mostly local papers here?
We're talking about mostly local papers as well as national papers. DailyMe currently takes content from about 500 newspaper partners, the majority of which are local U.S. papers.
So then how does the rise of DailyMe.com connect with basically what has been the demise of many major newspapers?
Well, we hope that we're going to be part of the solution, the success, not part of the demise, Matt. We cannot benefit from a world with less newspapers or less journalists, because then we have no content to give to our audience. We're trying to step in 2 parts of the newspaper process that are really under tremendous stress. On the one hand, the distribution. It would appear from every indication out there that newspapers simply cannot afford, in their current model, to send newspapers to your home. Therefore, where we step in is trying to find new means of distributing the news. And the second part is the curation function that's traditional to newspapers. It's valuable, it's great, but it cannot address the large amount of content that is created every day by professional writers and users alike, and it cannot supply the needs of the hundreds of millions of people that are seeking that information every day. So we will continue to rely on professional journalists writing good information, but we're hoping to offer to both publishers and the audience an alternative on how that news gets curated and how is distributed.
But Eduardo, isn't it a little bit dangerous here if we have people who are just having the news filtered for them, that maybe they're not finding out about things they need to find out about? I mean, there have been some critics out there who say that this could actually have a downside to it.
There is, and there's two aspects to that, Matt, and that's a very valid question. On the one hand, I think we as news consumers have always been selective about what we see and where we see it. I mean, I would argue even the remote control would be a greater enemy than the internet is, for that matter, because we every day make choices about what articles we skip or what newspapers we buy.
So we're already filtering our own news.
We are, and we're doing it through a different means. We're simply providing yet another alternative to do so. But the notion that there has to be an editorial function is a very valid one. And in fact, today, when you go to DailyMe, a significant portion of the stories that we present to the user have been chosen and developed and created by traditional news editors. So we do believe that it's, and back to the concept that we need to mix exploration of content with exploitation. That is our goal.
Obviously, this is an industry that's changing all the time. Where does DailyMe.com go from here?
Well, we hope to grow. We hope to continue growing. We know that people that come to DailyMe.com today are more engaged than in traditional news websites. Why? Because we reflect your needs. We know that people engage more, they come back more. What we want to do is now grow more. And we're doing so both by ourselves and by the hands of other news publishers that benefit from the technology we have developed.
Well, best of luck in the future, Eduardo. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Matt.